me, and I think for everyone. Yeah. But in a good way. It does seem like we're back at it quicker than normal, but that's one of the good things about playing as deep as we did. But the encouraging thing, Monty, is we're healthy, and players seem to have paced themselves a little bit, and it seems to be everybody's excited to get back at it.
Thoughts on Ben Gordon?
He's a proven vet, and he's going to come to camp, and we'll see what happens. We have one roster spot, so we'll keep that open and let the guys that come in compete for it.
To piggyback on what Monty said, thoughts on Steve Nash?
Great guy. Great NBA talent. Only positive things that he can bring. There's so many positive accolades you can mention when talking about him, but I view him from my capacity as an asset to the organization in whatever way we choose to utilize him. And Steve's got a great rapport with him, and he's got the ultimate respect of I think every NBA player. Certainly will have ours. So it's great potential for him to do some good things with us.
Thoughts on Harrison Barnes?
Great
guy too. Huh?
Like Harrison.
Move right in, slide right into it.
Specifically, I think I know what you're asking. We usually, I think our history, at least the norm for extensions, is to let it linger and see what happens at the end. So we'll work hard, see what happens, but it has to work for us, has to work for him. And tune in October 28th through 31st, and we'll have an answer for you.
Are you working right now on the Festus extension, or is the expectation to work on that next summer?
No, we'll work on it. We'll see if we can get something done. I don't know if we will or won't, but we'll work towards it. See if it makes sense again for him, for us. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll make an attempt.
Talk about cap percentage and how, just with the rising cap, these numbers might be a little different. Are you kind of sensitive to maybe fans out there who kind of look at those numbers and kind of are taken aback? I know it's not your position exactly.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, I love our fans,
yeah.
so. But we have to make the best decisions. That's why they hire us. That's what they hire me. That's what they hire our front office to do. So, certainly value everybody's opinion. But it is a new era for money, which is great. It's great. Everybody's making more money. Nothing wrong with that. We'll consider that. Players are fully aware of it. So are we. It'll factor into any negotiations from this day forward. It's already factored into the negotiations in the summer. So it's a new day going forward and new dollars. So we'll see what happens, and we'll evaluate it from that standpoint. And simply, it's a bigger cap. So a bigger cap means more money.
You've always said that Joe never lets money stop him from getting what he really, really wants to keep. That still hold for you?
Yeah, Monty, it'll hold. If the question's leading towards does a deal get done now, it doesn't mean we just do deals to do them. It does mean that we try to keep talent, keep players here. Whether that happens now in October, we commit to deals, or it happens in July if it's restricted free agency. But the point that you're making is accurate. We do, and we've shown that if we like our players and they've proven they can win, and certainly this group did that, then you try to keep them in the fold. And thankfully for us, we've been able to do that and keep a group together, at least for this organization, continuity that we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Did you feel like you were close to a deal before Harrison parted ways with his agent?
We'd just begun. So again, my anticipation on any deals in extensions are that they go down to the wire, just like trade deadlines, just like draft day deals. Most things are done at the last minute. So things could happen sooner, but my anticipation is if anything does, it'll be around that time.
Bob, what do you see as the biggest challenge in repeating? Is it more mental, more physical?
Well, I think mental. I mean, assuming health. I mean, if you're assuming good health, which we had, I guess that's a certain kind of challenge that you face, but you can't really control. I guess it's a mental challenge. I've never been in the situation. I've asked Steve and some people that have actually been there and attempted to repeat. Maybe the shortened off season makes it harder physically. You could make that argument, but we have a relatively young team, and I do think we have a competitive team. I do think if you hate to lose, you hate to lose. Whether that's coming off a championship or coming off a first-round playoff loss, if it's inside of you, that's there. And so I think our players embody that, and I think they'll bring that to the 2015-16 season. But you never know what'll come with it. But I have confidence that they'll make their best effort to do it again. Let's see what happens.
How do you envision mapping out a schedule for Steve Nash? Is it week by
I don't know. I mean, I defer to Steve. They've got a great connection, Steve Nash and Steve Kerr, and it'll probably be as much as Steve Nash wants or can tolerate, and he'll be welcome anytime, certainly. But like Steve Kerr, I heard say, he's just retired. He's got a lot of things going on. We hope he embraces us and wants to be around as much as possible, because I think he has a ton to add. But I'm sure you'll get, I think Raymond Riddle will let you guys talk to Nash at some point, right? And then he'll hopefully convey it from his point of view. But from an organizational point of view, we're never going to kick him out the door. If he wants to come to every practice or every shoot around or whatever he wants to do, we'll allow that and encourage that.
For the first 4 or 5 years of Brandon Rush's career, he was, I think, a 42% shooter from three. Last year, it never happened. Physically, he never got where he needed to be, and obviously his confidence dropped off. What do you think he needs? What do you know he needs to do in order to be a part of the rotation this year? And do you think it's within his grasp?
I do think it's within his grasp, Monty. I think he's shown he can do it, but confidence is such a big issue, especially coming off an injury like his. But I think he feels comfortable. I think he's confident going into this season. I think he sees an opportunity there for him. He's around our players, and if you watch him in practice, and I know you guys can't see a lot of the scrimmaging, he does well. So maybe some of it was a mental block. We hope that's the case, but I think finally he's over the hump physically, looks good, in shape. So we expect him to certainly improve upon last year, and hopefully get off to a good start. I think he'll get some minutes in the preseason, and hopefully can build on that.
Speaking of improving things, you've added the sports science department. What does that mean? What do they do that's different from last season? Well,
I think a lot of organizations are going with the director of sports science. That's who we hired, a guy named Lachlan Penfold, who's got a history in Australia. And it's been our experience in asking around some of the teams on the cutting edge as we do our due diligence in that area to find the group or people that have done a lot of things analytically and have been in an environment where those are pushed. And so we went out and tried to hire the best and brightest guy to do that and lead our group. And we did that. And so the idea is to continue to push forward in measuring fatigue, to continue to push forward in how individual athletes respond differently. You can't assume that 15 guys out there are all fatiguing at the same rate or experiencing the same workload. Tapping into that unique part of each athlete is something we're trying to do and dig deeper in. So that's the goal behind it. It's certainly a work in progress for us, but I think you'll see each year teams learning more and more about possibly when to rest players, when it's okay to play back-to-backs, when minutes need to be diminished. So we're trying to get in front of that, but it's a lot of new information, and that's why we hire people that are more schooled in it and learned in it than certainly I am.
Are you going to be tracking anything that you didn't track last season?
I think we're going to try to be more efficient in certain areas. I think the last group was great, but we're looking to lean on his expertise. Some of the things he's shown us, we think we can certainly implement here. But again, it's a work in progress. But yeah, we think we can improve in certain areas and provide more objectivity to a process that's been for the last decade or forever subjective in nature.
What's your take on the Luke for Alvin swap?
Luke's not that good. I mean, we're going to miss Alvin. No, Luke's got great. I like Luke a lot, and he's got a brilliant basketball mind. So did Alvin, and it was going to be hard to keep Alvin. We thought that, and he set a great tone for this offense, and Steve allowed him the room to do that. And one of the things Steve does best is give his assistants freedom to coach and bring the skills they have. But Luke's fortunate enough to have played and coached under some great coaches, and he's got an innate ability to think the game, to learn the game, and also communicate the game. So he certainly could be an Alvin Gentry one day and be a head coach in the NBA. And so we're excited about the possibility, and also excited that Alvin is going to be the first game we play. It should be fun.
Yes, it will.
You hired Chelsea Lane to your staff. She has an impressive resume of her own, but how important was it to add diversity to your staff?
You know what? It's a good question.
Thank you.
We try as an organization to hire the best people, and that no matter race, creed, color, whatever it may be, if you're the best, you're the best. I know it's probably a little unusual to have a female in that role. We were certainly aware of that, but when we discussed it internally, we said if she's the best, she's the best. So we believe that, and that's why we hired her. We put a lot of trust in our medical staff. We trust them with our most prized assets. The assets of the company are the players, and they get paid the most money. They're the most important. They go out and try to win games for us. So the people that interact with them every day and try to take care of their bodies are extremely important. So whoever they are, we're going to try to find the best. And we thought in the interview process that she was the best, and so it should be an easy decision, no matter the fact that she's a female. But we're excited, and it's an exciting hire for us. Good.
Great.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob.